Naomi had taken a bad cold. It was sort of October time, 2008, and she had, her GP had put her on antibiotics, and she wasn't getting any better. She was losing more and more weight. She'd lost, by the time she actually got diagnosed, she'd lost just over 2 stone. She had been out of school for about 3.5 months. She had just started P7 and she was out for quite some time, in and out of hospital. Could have been in for 2 days and out for 2 days and back in for a week and out for 1 day and back in again, and it was just open ward access we were on in the end. I worked in the school. I was a cook, down one of the cooks in the kitchen, and Naomi came up to me at dinner time and she was rubbing her chest and she said she had a lump in her chest and it was sore, and all the kids were in the dining hall, so I said to her, you know, wait till we get home and then have a look. And I forgot all about it, God forgive me, I mean I just forgot all about it. And then I was doing her homework that evening, and Peter was cooking pancakes, and I happened to notice her rubbing again, and I asked her if it was still there and she said it was. So I rang the hospital. It was the size of like a cherry tomato, and it rang the hospital, explained what was going on, that we were coming back in again. The next morning the consultant, they were baffled with all that was going on, because her test results were fluctuating all over the place and there was dead cells turning up in her urine and things like that, and in the end up he decided it would be in everyone's best interest to refer her to Belfast for a second opinion, and that's where we met Dr. McCarthy. This was the week leading up to Easter, and he said that there would be a skeleton staff on, so not to expect to hear anything for, you know, a week or so. And I was lifting Naomi out of the bath the next morning, and Jodie came up the stairs with a phone saying there was a strange man on the phone, because Dr. McCarthy's Irish, and the voice. So he said that Naomi's test results were back and that he needed to see me first thing the next morning. We had to travel up at 9 the next morning. Naomi was supposed to come with us, but she had been sick all night and it was 5 AM before we got her to sleep. So we decided to keep her at home, and my husband and I travelled up with our minister, came with us, and we went in. Dr. McCarthy was there and he sat us down in the chair, and I asked him if she had cancer, and he said yes, she had.
Being told your child has cancer is something that no parent ever wants to hear. But the harsh reality is that every day 3 children, teenagers and young people in Northern Ireland are diagnosed with this disease. Here Donella Meade shares with Fermanagh TV the events leading up to that heart-rending day when her 10-year-old daughter Naomi became one of those sad statistics.
Don't know what we'd say we felt like. Certainly for me it was like being hit with a steam truck, I think is the best way to describe it. And that was the reason the minister came with us, because he said if nothing else he could be an extra pair of ears. Explained that she would have to have high dose chemotherapy. He said about her birthday coming up, and he said to celebrate it that weekend because she was coming in on Monday to start treatment. Explained things that we had to speak to her about, that for a girl her age, particular girls, that her appearance would change, that she would lose her hair, things like that he said were important, and the fact that she mightn't be able to have a family. We had to tell her that because he said that where it wouldn't be important now, in years to come it would be. So things like that, if we didn't tell her, then they would, pretty much. So I remember coming out of his office and walking into I don't know, there's a pole or pillar or something there, and I walked straight into it. I just it was definitely the worst day of my life.
Over the next 6 months, Donella and her family travelled to Belfast from Fermanagh, sometimes 3 times a day, as Naomi underwent her treatment.
understood because like they sent out some like wee books for my wee sisters, and then as soon as like they were reading it to them, then I like understood more about it, and then I got like wee leaflets and all coming home, and I sort of not get used to it, but just I started to make friends with it. You don't really know how to get through it. You just like cross every bridge as it comes, so you can't really ask questions what's going to happen and all because they don't really answer it, so you just do what you have to do.